In 1991, a woman named Teresia Rona walked into a public square in one of the wealthiest countries on earth to do something she had never been allowed to do in her life: vote. She was not young. She had paid taxes for decades. She had raised children, run a business, obeyed every law. But until a federal court forced her canton's hand, the men of Appenzell Innerrhoden had decided twice that she did not deserve a voice. When word got out that she was the one who brought the case, someone threw stones through her shop windows. Police had to escort her to the assembly. This was not 1891. This was 1991, the same year the internet went public. And this was Switzerland, the country the world pictures when it imagines perfection. Chocolate, watches, clean trains, quiet banks, a peaceful little paradise tucked between the Alps. But peace is not the same thing as innocence. And Switzerland has been keeping secrets for 700 years. Let's start with the founding myth, because even that is a lie. Every Swiss child learns the story of William Tell, the crossbow hero who shot an apple off his son's head to defy a tyrant from Austria. It is the origin story of the nation. The problem is, William Tell almost certainly never existed. There is no record of him in any document from his supposed lifetime. The first mention of his name does not appear until 1474, more than 150 years after the events he supposedly inspired. Historians have traced the apple-shooting story to Norse folklore, specifically a Danish saga about a man named Palnatoke. When a Swiss scholar published a book in 1760 pointing this out, the people of Altdorf burned it in the public square. They didn't want the truth, they wanted the story. And the founding document itself, the Federal Charter of 1291? Researchers now believe it was probably written in 1309 and backdated. Switzerland built its national identity on a character who never lived, and a document that was likely forged, which, when you learn what came next, starts to feel almost poetic. Because here is what the world forgets about the Swiss. For 500 years they were not neutral. They were for hire. Starting in the 1300s, Swiss mercenaries became the most feared infantry in Europe. Kings did not just want to hire them. They needed to, because the alternative was fighting against them. 1 million Swiss soldiers served in foreign armies between the 1400s and the 1800s. They fought for France, for Spain, for the Pope, for anyone with gold. There is a French saying that survives from this era: "Pas d'argent, pas de Suisse." No money, no Swiss. When Louis XIV was told that all the gold France had ever paid the Swiss could pave a road from Paris to Basel, a Swiss colonel replied that all the blood his countrymen had spilled for France could fill a canal along the same route. And that blood was real. In 1792, during the French Revolution, a mob stormed the Tuileries Palace in Paris. The Swiss Guard, 600 men sworn to protect King Louis XVI, fought to the last. Most were massacred. The Lion of Lucerne, carved into a cliff face in Switzerland, still mourns them. Mark Twain called it the saddest piece of stone in the world. After the massacres and the mercenary wars, Switzerland made a decision. In 1815, at the Congress of Vienna, the country declared permanent neutrality. No more fighting other people's wars, no more blood for gold. And for a while, the world believed it. But neutrality turned out to be the most profitable brand in history. When the Second World War came, Switzerland sat at the crossroads of a continent on fire. And it made a choice: not to fight, but not to stay clean either. The Swiss National Bank accepted 1.3 billion francs worth of gold from Nazi Germany between 1940 and 1945. Hundreds of millions of that was looted from the central banks of occupied countries. Some of it, the records show, was melted down from the jewelry and dental fillings of Holocaust victims. But the gold was only part of it. In 1938, as Jewish refugees began fleeing Nazi persecution, Switzerland did something that still haunts the country. Swiss authorities asked Germany to stamp a red J into the passports of Jewish citizens so Swiss border guards could identify them and turn them away. Thousands of Jewish refugees were sent back. Many were sent directly into the hands of the Nazis. The Bergier Commission, set up in the 1990s, estimated that over 20,000 refugees were rejected. Switzerland knew what was happening. A Swiss official declared at the time, "The lifeboat is full." It was not full. It was selective. And while the world focused on the gold and the refugees, another Swiss secret stayed hidden for decades. Over 100,000 people, most of them children, were victims of forced labor and welfare abuse inside Switzerland itself, right up until the 1970s. They were called Verdingkinder, indentured child laborers. Children from poor or divorced families were taken by authorities and placed with farmers who used them as free labor. Some were sold at markets like livestock. Roma and Yenish children were specifically targeted, taken from their families by a pro-Juventude program that was not shut down until 1973. These children slept in barns. They were beaten. They were starved. And when they grew up, nobody believed them. The Swiss government did not formally apologize until 2013. Many of the victims were already dead by then. You would think the secrets end there. They do not. In 2020, journalists from the Washington Post and a German broadcaster revealed that a Swiss encryption company called Crypto AG, trusted by over 120 governments to protect their most sensitive communications, had been secretly owned by the CIA since 1970. For nearly 50 years, the CIA and German intelligence rigged the company's devices so they could read the coded messages of allies and enemies alike. Iran, India, Pakistan, Argentina, even the Vatican, all paid good money for machines designed to betray them. A CIA internal report called it the intelligence coup of the century. Swiss authorities, a parliamentary investigation later confirmed, knew about it and benefited from it. So much for neutrality. And then there is the matter of the women. Switzerland likes to call itself the world's oldest modern democracy. But for most of its democratic history, half the population was excluded. Women could not vote in federal elections until 1971, 78 years after New Zealand, 53 after Germany, 27 after France. And even that did not settle things. The canton of Appenzell-Innerrhoden refused to comply. The men voted against women's suffrage in 1973, and again in 1982. It took a federal court ruling in 1990 to force the issue. The first time women raised their hands at the Landsgemeinde, the ancient open-air assembly, was in April 1991. Armed police were present to keep the peace, at a voting ceremony that had not changed in 600 years. And yet, despite all of it, the mercenary blood, the forged charter, the Nazi gold, the stolen children, the rigged machines, the women shut out of their own democracy, Switzerland endures. Not as the fairy tale the postcards sell you, but as something more complicated and honestly more interesting. A country that built a bunker bed for every single citizen. A country with 4 official languages that somehow still functions. A country that exports more chocolate than any nation on earth, while sitting on mountains that tried to kill its people for centuries. A country where the trains really do run on time, and the fondue really is that good, and the Alps really do take your breath away, even when you know what happened in the valleys below. Switzerland is not what you think it is. It never was. And that is exactly what makes it worth understanding. If you want more hidden history like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel right away and tell me in the comments which country you want uncovered next. As always, we will see you in the past.